Do you feel guilty for resting even when you're exhausted? Like you know you need a break, but your mind won't let you relax? 1. The hidden belief behind the guilt. That feeling isn't random. It usually comes from a belief you've been carrying for a long time. Your value is based on how productive you are. When you internalize this idea, resting starts to feel like failure. Because if doing more equals being more, then doing nothing feels like becoming less. 2. Why your brain resists rest. Your brain is wired to keep you safe, not necessarily healthy. If you spent years being rewarded for productivity, achievement, or being busy, your brain learned that constant action equals approval and security. So when you stop, your brain reacts with discomfort, intrusive thoughts, restlessness, guilt. Not because rest is wrong, but because it feels unfamiliar. 3. Rest versus laziness. The confusion. One of the biggest psychological distortions here is this. Your mind confuses rest with laziness, but they are not the same. Rest equals intentional recovery. Laziness equals avoidance without awareness. The problem is your brain often doesn't distinguish between the two. So even when you need rest, it labels it as something negative. 4. The cost of not resting. Ignoring rest doesn't make you more productive. It creates the illusion of productivity while slowly draining your system. Over time, this leads to mental fatigue, difficulty focusing, emotional instability, increased anxiety, burnout. And here's the irony. The more you avoid rest, the worse your performance becomes. 5. Why resting can feel uncomfortable. For many people, rest isn't peaceful, it's triggering. Because when you slow down, your thoughts get louder. Unresolved emotions surface. Your mind starts scanning for what's missing. So instead of feeling relaxed, you feel uneasy. That's why staying busy can become a coping mechanism. It distracts you from what you don't want to feel. 6. The conditioning loop. Here's the cycle most people get stuck in. You feel tired gives. You push through gives. You become more exhausted gives. You finally try to rest gives. You feel guilty gives. You go back to being busy, and the loop repeats. Over time, your brain learns that rest equals discomfort, and productivity equals relief. 7. Reframing rest the shift. What most people don't realize is this. Rest is not a reward for finishing everything. It's a requirement for functioning well. Your brain needs pauses to process information, regulate emotions, restore energy, maintain focus. Without rest, you're not operating at your best. You're just operating on survival mode. 8. What real strength looks like. Real mental strength is not pushing yourself endlessly. It's recognizing when to stop. Even when your mind tells you to keep going, it's allowing yourself to rest without needing to justify it. Because choosing rest in a world that glorifies exhaustion is actually a form of self-respect. 9. A question to challenge your mind. Next time you feel guilty for resting, ask yourself, am I actually being lazy? Or am I just not used to slowing down? That question alone can start breaking the pattern. If this made you realize that your mind might be working against you, follow the page. Because the more you understand how your brain works, the less control these patterns have over you.